In 2012, I raised nearly $50,000 to make a documentary about my retirement tour for professional wrestling. At some point, my body is going to be fucking broken down. I'm not going to have any way of moving on from this. Los Angeles, California. I am finally here. I'm excited to see where it goes. About 5 years ago, I had an idea. And ever since then, the idea has grown to where over the last 6 months, with help from friends in pro wrestling, MMA and television, I've developed it into a complete and realizable concept.
You know, since '98, like the last big boom period, I feel like here we are, what, almost 15 years later, waiting for that next big thing, and nobody seems to have any idea what that's supposed to be.
I believe I know exactly what it is. A categorical evolution of pro wrestling in every way, from the in-ring style, to the storylines, to even the very business model that's in place today.
Professional wrestling could have all the complexities and intricacies of a show like Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, and I want to see it live up to that potential.
Wrestling's pretty much the same product that it was 10 years ago, which is fine for the current audience, but it leaves a huge window of opportunity open for another product to come along and provide something different and really engage the audience.
But who's going to step outside the box? Who's going to dare to be different? I think that's all something a lot of us want to see and want to strive for.
To evolve pro wrestling in the direction of what does big numbers in the entertainment world today. Scripted high-concept shows like Breaking Bad, mockumentary TV like The Office, and realistic fighting like you see in UFC.
The type of fan who liked wrestling for the athletics, they've sort of migrated to UFC, and that's partially because pro wrestling presents itself in a way that is almost action-adventure instead of sports-oriented at times, and by doing that, they left the window open for people to kind of look for something else.
Now let's not make any bones about it. What I'm proposing here is a complete reworking of the genre. But let me also state, without any reservation, that this is in no way competition to WWE, TNA, or Ring of Honor, the latter of which I will continue to support with all my heart.
I've been a pro wrestling fan my entire life. Everything I watch on TV has been done before. I've seen it, they just rehash the same things a few years later as if we don't know it already. I think this new idea is so cool and innovative and different. I've never seen anything like it, and I can't wait to see it.
Now I want to be absolutely clear. This is not a pie-in-the-sky idea with no depth that I'm hoping to get funded so I can develop the concept. This has been meticulously researched and planned to the most intricate detail.
This is a great script. This may seem like a lot of money, but the average television show costs $400,000 per episode.
I've written the full 6-episode series that I believe evolves pro wrestling in all the ways I've mentioned.
What I love about these 6 episodes is that they combine drama, sport, documentary-style filmmaking into one unique original piece. And as an actor, that's the stuff you want to do.
Like Paul Heyman and ECW in the 1990s, one idea can have a profound effect on the world.
This is different, this is unique, this is what professional wrestling needs right now.
There is no doubt in my mind that funded, this project will reinvent the genre. But to do that, I need your help.
This project is looking to expand what we can do into, it's categorically different than everything else that's been done. I've done thousands of shows, and sometimes it's like running on a hamster wheel. This is something that is different. We are jumping off the hamster wheel and making a beeline to unknown territory that I believe can definitely be a success in this business. I believe will be a success if given the opportunity.
LA Fights will have a revolutionary in-ring style, inspired by the realism of UFC, while still remaining true to its pro wrestling roots.
In the world of pro wrestling, I definitely think there's room for a product that's based around mixed martial arts and influenced by it.
Storylines will involve realistic and complex characters, will surround contemporary issues like drug abuse, concussions, sexuality, ambition, dealt with in a very genuine and evolved manner, thereby appealing to a far broader portion of the viewing audience.
I think the behind-the-scenes thing is a fresh new way to look at wrestling because nobody's doing that. you know?
The seasonal structure means that A, wrestlers will have time off to heal, and B, you have the opportunity to build to highly anticipated season finales. On top of that, with the emergence of platforms like Netflix, Hulu and YouTube, you don't necessarily need a traditional media outlet to get your product seen by the masses.
I think it's a great idea. I think wrestling really needs to expand and it needs to evolve and become something different. I mean, we've seen the same thing for so long, for so many years, and it's like, who's going to change the game? Who's going to change this up?
So what comes next? Well, as Andy Dufresne wrote to his friend Red in The Shawshank Redemption, if you're reading this, you've got out. And if you've come this far, perhaps you'll want to come a little further. The average TV pilot costs $500,000. I'm asking for a lot less than this to make an entire series that I know can change the horizon. Now, some people may say I'm crazy for asking this amount of money, but people said that about the documentary. And I believe in this the same way I believed in that. And I know other people will too.
It makes sense. The ideas and the concept is great, and I think Nigel is the one guy that could pull it off, because when he puts his mind to something, it always exceeds expectations, like his documentary.
So if you're a fan of pro wrestling, if you used to be a fan of pro wrestling and now you watch MMA, if you've always believed there should be a different concept out there but you didn't know how to make it a reality, but most of all, if you believe in me, please support this project.
I've seen a lot of concepts about professional wrestling pitch, different ideas, but the one Nigel McGuinness has been working on is something that I would definitely be the first to support.
Oh, and if you're one of the people that keep asking if I will wrestle again, this is the if. To be clear, if this is funded, I will wrestle again on this show.
I don't put my stamp on too much stuff or too many people. Like, this is a great opportunity for our generation to say we need to move along, we need to change, we need to be something different. And Nigel's a great guy to spearhead that movement. And I think this is a wonderful idea, and I think everyone should really get behind it.
In 2012, I was blown away by the number of people who supported me and my project. Because of that support, I was 100% committed to make the absolute best documentary I possibly could. And I'd like to think now I have equity to where if I say I'm going to do something, you can take it to the bank. Los Angeles, California. I am finally here. I'm excited to see where it goes. 2 years later, and I know exactly where.
Nigel McGuinness, he's in it to win it.